All right. So, how's the recall coming along?
There's been, I think it's been up, like
The number?
the number, I think it's 70 now.
Sure. Okay.
But, yeah, it's just the walking ahead that's his problem.
Yeah, but it's gotten a little better now. It's getting there, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, not bad.
What was the number last week?
60.
60,
60
so you
to
bumped it.
80, just depending where.
Sure.
Yeah.
So then you bumped it to 70 now,
Yeah.
and you're seeing how that works for him.
Yeah.
Keeping him in line. Gotcha.
We did a few recalls. It's doing pretty good. Like today, this morning, just kind of let him kind of do his thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he doesn't see me, when I'm kind of out of sight, he just kind of runs back to me and just, whether it's sitting there or just being around me. So
Gotcha.
yeah, so he's doing pretty good in that. But sometimes we practice the heel a little far away, especially in the open.
Oh, okay. It's a long
You
leash.
just kind of
Yeah.
The long leash has been pretty good.
The long leash helps you tighten that up.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of my clients will say the dog walks better with no leash or the long leash than they do on the short leash.
Yeah.
And that's really common because typically when people do the short leash, they tend to pull back.
Yeah.
And that's part of the problem. So what we're going to work on today was the place command.
Okay.
So in training, there's like the 3 styles of commands. There's the walk with me, the come to me, and then the don't move. Okay, so then you kind of have the baseline for everything. So if you want to, of course, walk somewhere with Momo and be off leash, you have all that. Or if you want to take him somewhere and not worry about what's he doing, like wandering around wise, that's what this command comes into play.
Okay.
Any questions?
No.
Alright. So here, we have an elevated dog bed. It can be anything. It can be his own dog bed, it can be a blanket, it can be a towel. I've seen people use ottomans, anything that has a perimeter. So place, are you familiar with this command?
Me.
No? Okay. So, like if you say sit, put the butt down, lay down, right? Place is go here, and I don't care what you do, sit, stand, lay down, just don't get off. Okay, so it's easier. Because if you told, let's say you went to a restaurant with Momo, and he said lay down, he'd have to lay down, and he can't do anything else. Okay, so it's more strict. It's also a little bit harder, because if he sits up, you have to correct that.
Yeah.
So with this, it's just go here, and I don't care what you do, just don't get off of it, okay? So a lot of my clients, like if they go to the restaurant with their dog, they'll bring like a towel or a blanket,
Yeah.
and they'll just plop it down. They'll tell the dog place so that they can, have the dog under control for a period of time, and not have to worry about, like, are you still laying down? Because it doesn't matter what it does, okay? We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna dip down the remote. We're gonna go down to 25. Because whenever we teach anything new, we always go down lower. And who's gonna go first?
I go first. I do.
So what we're gonna do here is you're gonna start like a foot or so away from the bed, and you're gonna shorten your leash about halfway. And what you're gonna do is we're not gonna say anything here. We're just gonna start tapping. And as you're tapping, you're gonna pull the leash towards the placemat. And once Momo gets on, you stop tapping, okay? If he runs off, you're gonna pull, start tapping. Once he's on, you stop. He jumps off, pull, tap, tap, he's on, you stop, okay? So go ahead. Yeah, right there. And then we wait a moment and praise, good boy.
Good boy.
Good boy. Good, and break. Break. We're gonna repeat that 4 times. Good, and praise.
Good boy.
Break. Yep, and 3 more. Go ahead and go to 35. I'm sure he's filling it there. Good boy. Those shoes stay on pretty well, huh?
Yeah, the baby's
He orders them.
What's that?
I pawn
You can see it.
Oh, I see. Oh, yeah.
This is like his 3rd pair, maybe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he just. It's probably the quality of the shoes, but yeah, he shows how well.
That's funny.
It's okay. Do I kind of lead him there? Right?
Yeah, right now you can, and then as we go along, we're gonna start doing less, so that he starts to do more of the work himself. There you go. Good. Praise, good boy.
Good boy. Break.
2 more. Right. Good.
Good boy.
And last one.
Break.
Good. All right. And
Good boy.
so now we're gonna do the same thing, but when you walk up, you're gonna stop out here, okay? And if Momo goes, you're gonna pull him back. Don't let him go by himself. You're gonna wait, and you're gonna start pulling and tapping, but you're gonna stay still. Okay, so he's gonna go, but you're gonna try not to move. Okay?
I just stay still, right?
Correct.
And just tap.
And then pull. Just a little bit more. There you go. Good. Tap, 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 yep, and pull him back. Tap, tap. Keep tapping. Good. Right there. Good. Break. Break. Good. Do 4 more like that.
Good boy.
Good boy.
Tap, tap, tap. Good.
Good boy. Break.
Good. Tap, 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 yep. Try it, there you go. Try a little higher up. Good. Go to you're 35, right? Go to
Yeah.
45.
Good boy.
Good, just a couple more.
Good boy.
Good.
Break.
Good. Good boy. So now, same process, but you're gonna start moving around. Okay, so like you'll come over here, and then you'll stop, start tapping them, wait a moment, break, good boy, and here, and you start setting from different angles. Okay?
Good boy. Break.
Good.
Good boy. Break.
Good.
Good boy. Break.
Good.
Good boy. Break.
Good. Hold right there. So what we're going to do here is we're going to swap handlers, but we're going to keep Momo there. Okay, so when you're switching, if he gets off, you'll start tapping to correct him back up. Okay. Good. All right.
Good boy. Break.
So what you're going to do is you're going to take, we're going to go back a step, and instead of doing what he was doing here and walking around, you're going to go back and you're going to just pick one spot and then send from about a foot away. Okay.
Break. I have to like,
Yeah, a little bit of leash pull. Yeah, and then you'll try to stay where you're at.
okay.
Good. Yep, 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 yep. Very good. Good.
Good boy. Break.
Good. 4 more. Good.
Good boy. Break.
Good.
Good boy. Break.
2 more.
Okay.
There you go.
Good boy. Break.
Good.
Good boy.
So now, break, you're going to start to walk around, and you're going to be sending them from about that foot distance from the stop position, okay?
Okay. So walk right.
Yeah, so you walk around, and then like you go from different angles, and you'll send him like you were, but from a foot away. There you go, like that.
Good boy. Break.
Good. There you go. Good. Good.
Good boy. Break.
Good. 3 more. Good.
Good boy. Break.
Good.
Good boy. Break. Good boy. Break.
Good. 1 more. Good. So now, good. Almost. Good. There you go. Good.
Good boy.
Good. Now what you're going to do here is you're going to do the same thing, except now you're going to start sending them a little bit further back. So you're going to be about 2 to 3 feet away now. Okay, so about here, same thing. Pulling, try not to move. If you need to move 1 step, okay, but really trying to get Momo to leave from this distance and go there by himself. Okay?
Okay. Break.
There you go. Good. Yep. There. That's better. Good.
Good boy. Break.
Good. Good.
Good boy. Break.
Good. 3 more. Good.
Good boy. Break.
Good. Right.
Oh,
Yep. Good.
Good
So you see
boy.
how he's fixing
Yeah.
easier? Yeah. 1 more.
break.
Good. Going tap. There you go. Much better. Good.
Boy. Break.
So let's swap hands. So you're gonna do the 2 to 3 feet away, but you're gonna start changing the angles.
Okay.
Okay, so you're gonna start walking around. Good.
Good boy. Break. Good boy. Break. Good boy. boy. Break.
Good, check them out. Good.
Good boy. Break. Break.
Good.
Good boy.
So here, we're gonna keep it the same, but instead of pulling and tapping, you're gonna start tapping first and then pull. So you're gonna tap about 2 to 3 times. If Momo doesn't go, you'll keep tapping and then you're gonna use the leaf pressure to guide him.
Break. Keep going around them.
Yeah. Good.
Good boy. Break.
Good.
Good boy. Break.
Good. You're at 45 still?
Yeah.
Try 50.
Good boy. Break.
Mm-hmm. A little better.
Good boy. Break.
There you go. Good. So that one, he started at the very end to go by himself.
Good boy.
Okay.
Break.
So, same thing, except now you're gonna say place. So you're gonna say place, you're gonna start tapping, and then if he doesn't go, like 2 to 3 taps, then you're gonna keep tapping and then use the leash.
Okay, so place and then
Tapping.
Tap.
And then if he doesn't, then the
yeah,
pull the tap.
break. Place.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Good boy. Break. Place.
Good.
Good boy. Break. Keep moving around, right?
Yeah.
Place.
Good.
Good boy. Break.
One more, and we're gonna swap.
Place.
Good. Wait, good. There he goes.
Good boy.
Good. So we're gonna keep him in place. Let's go and swap hammers. Okay, so you're gonna go back a step again. So you're gonna keep walking around from about 3 feet back. You're gonna start tapping first to see if he goes. If not, then you're gonna keep tapping and then use the leash.
Okay. Break.
Mm-hmm. Good. And you're 50, right?
Yes.
Let's do 55. What was he at originally, 70?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good boy. Break.
There you go. That was better.
Good boy. Break.
Good.
Good boy. Break. Oh, I didn't know.
There you go. Yeah.
Almost.
Almost.
Good boy. Break. Good boy. Break.
go by himself on that one. That's good. So now, same thing, but you're gonna say place, tapping, and then the leash should be into it.
Break. Place.
There you go.
Good boy. Break. Place. Good boy. Break. Place.
Good.
Good boy. Break.
Good, just stop now.
Place.
There you go.
Good boy.
Good.
Break.
One more.
Place.
There you go. Good. Now what we're gonna do here is we're gonna leave them there
Perfect.
and keep your leash and you're gonna have a seat, okay?
I'm sorry, I didn't.
And then you go and just have a seat, but we're gonna leave Momo right there.
Okay.
Okay.
Let this go.
Bring it with you so you can leave it like by your feet if it doesn't reach. See what he does. There you go. Cool. All right. So, questions so far about this? So what we're trying to do here is teach Momo that when he feels a tap, it means to go here, right? So the reason why I don't keep walking him here like this is because if you keep doing it, you always have to do it.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to say Momo place and he just goes. So we do it in the beginning to help teach him. And then after a few reps, you know, we just started close, but making him go there by himself using the e-collar. Right now we're teaching the send how to go here. The other part of this is going to be don't move. Okay? So I don't care what Momo does. He can sit down, he can lay down, he can stand up, he can get up and like turn in a circle and all that stuff. It's perfectly fine. He just can't step off of the area. Okay? So if you had Momo in place and maybe you left the room and came back and you see him but like one paw is off the area, you want to tap him to get him to put it back on. Okay? Now if he's asleep and it just happens to be off, like that's fine. But dogs are really smart, and like you'll see him, he'll be on the place, he'll be like this, he'll be like this, like this, right? And my pit bull, when she was a puppy, I remember I put her on place and I left for like to make a sandwich or something, and when I came back, she was from on the bed, she was like this. And she had one foot like this, okay, she was on the floor.
I'm still on the bed.
Yeah, so they're really smart. She knew she had to do something with the bed. Okay, so she tried to play that game and goes, I'm still touching it, right? So I, of course, corrected it. She goes back on the bed, whatever, because it has to be all four legs on the mat itself, okay? The object doesn't have to be anything fancy. Like I said, it could be a towel or a blanket or whatever. It's not going to immediately transfer. So if you go home and, like, let's say Momo has a bed, like you can't just go home and say place and he's going to do it. You have to do this first, okay? So you just take the leash, the remote, put the bed, and do a couple of place and tapping to send him, and then he'll go, oh, this is like at Jesse's facility.
Yeah.
I go here, and when I'm here, I don't move, okay? I don't repeat the command. I don't say stay, because it's implied that he doesn't move. Go here, don't move, okay? So you don't need to say stay. If you say it, it's not a big deal, but I personally don't. I just say place. And then if he tries to sneak off, I correct them to go back on again, okay? Length of time, however long you want. You could go home today and do 2 hours right away. Or you could do 30 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. That's fine. You pick and choose how long you want to practice for. Everybody's life with their dog looks different. So like if you know, like in the springtime or whatever, you want to take Momo with you to a restaurant, that's usually like an hour and a half, right, with eating and all that stuff. Is if you want to be able to take him there, in the home, you have to practice that long. If you do 15 minutes every day, even though you do it every day, it's only 15 minutes. It's not the same as an hour and a half, right? Where there's going to be a waiter, a waitress, food, other dogs, maybe people talking to them, right? So be more distractions. So what I do is, if I know I need to use it outside, inside I'll make them do longer. So instead of like an hour, hour and a half, I'll make them do 2.5 hours to compensate for the fact that being at the restaurant is going to be more difficult.
Continuously 2 hours?
Correct. It's just flat. It's just straight through. Okay. And the way I go about it is, if you're going to be working from home, or if you're going to watch a movie, if you're going to just be sitting down or whatever for a long period of time, that's when you train.
Yeah.
Okay. So make it easy. You don't have to put them here and wait, staring them for 30 minutes or whatever. I just put them in place, and then I do whatever it is I'm going to do. Okay. So then you start to apply it to life.
Yeah.
Definitely, with training, if you don't use it, you lose it because you're not practicing it. And this is so easy that a lot of people, I think, just blow it off and just think like, I can do that whenever. But then, fast forward, they want to all of a sudden go to the restaurant and take their dog, but they've not practiced, right? So then you end up not being able to enjoy yourself because you're too busy correcting the dog. Okay, so especially now with winter's coming, it's going to be snowing and stuff. People tend to get a little bit more lenient because they don't go out as much with their dogs. So then I suggest that they at least practice this. So in the springtime, you've already done all the homework. You should be ready to just go to the restaurant and have Momo with you. If you go to a friend's house and you don't want him all over the place, just bring out a towel, pop it down. If it's like maybe you forgot a towel or something, like one time I was working with a client, I forgot to bring my placemat, but I had my jacket. I just took my jacket off, and I put it on the ground, and we use that to teach the place. It just needs to have a perimeter, okay, so that he sees it. So if you said place like this, it's like, where's the boundary? He might learn that it's the corner, but where does it end, okay? So that's where having something like this is very defined, very clear cut. He sees it, and it's easy for him to pick up on. Okay. Question so far?
So, like for example, let's say we use the bed. We could eventually, through time, we could move the bed to different locations and stuff.
Yeah. So you can do a couple of things. Let's say you have like a bed in the living room, a bed in the dining room, and then like a bed in the bedroom. You have 3 of them. If you're in the bedroom and you say Momo place, he's going to go to the one in the bedroom. Okay, because that's the context that you're in. And if you're in the living room, he goes to the one in the living room. Or you can have one that you just move from room to room. You don't have to keep it in the same place. So if you put it in the corner in one day in the living room, and then the next day in the living room it's like in the middle, it's fine. Because he will learn to recognize the object. If you always use the same spot, what will happen is if you remove, which is not bad, but let's say you always use it, then one day you move it, and then you tell them place, a lot of times the dogs will go back because that's what they're used to it being, So then it's just teaching them to recognize that it's not the area, but the object, okay? This only happened once, but there was a client who wanted to send his dog from anywhere in the house, okay? And he had like 2 floors and stuff, so if you want to say place upstairs, the dog will go downstairs to the place in the living room, okay? If you wanted something like that, you'd start close, and then you just start to move further and further away with ascending, okay? Until eventually, like, you'd be in a different room place, sitting into the other room. Having the bed in the same spot makes that easier, but eventually, like, he will learn the object, and then you can move it around if needed. Most people just usually send the dog to place like this far, But yeah, you can get it to be as advanced as you want it to be. You can even have 2 places in one room, and he'll know which one to go to, because if you go place and you point to one, or place and you point to another, he'll learn to distinguish. Okay, but you can have more than one. You can have one in each room. You can have one that you just move around. If you carry like a towel in your car, so like if you go to a restaurant, you can just pull the towel out, put it on the ground, and then you have something that's movable. Okay.
Can we use it as crate too, or just anything? Because I'm thinking, because there's one in the bedroom. We put his crate in the bedroom, and we leave the doors open and just place, and he'll go to his crate, or just the bed.
Technically, crate can be placed as well. It's just a place that has
open.
has a boundary or like a cage around it. with the normal gate. But if you do that, you just have to remember that he's under command and he can't step out of the door.
Yeah.
He has to stay in there. Because whenever you say, like you could say crate too, and you would teach crate just like you teach place. You know, so like when I get dogs that don't like being in the crate, this is what we do. We take the collar, we say crate, we remote them. So when they go in the crate, so originally they don't like it. But what they learn is, this thing turns on, I don't like it, but when I'm in the crate, it goes away. So that helps them learn to like the crate.
Yeah.
Okay? And it's the same concept where the door will be open, I'll tell them crate, but they're not allowed out. That's why I say crate. Okay? So technically, yes, you can use it like that as well. It just happens to have a cage. Okay? Other questions?
And then when you correct it, do you say place again or you just tap until he goes?
I just tap because if you say place again, you're resetting. Yeah, just like with any command, you're resetting. So then I just tap. Otherwise, you're going to see him get off place.
Right.
Get off place, right? So I just always go straight to the correction. And as soon as you feel like he's going to try to get off, right? If you see him like, you'll recognize it, he'll look sneaky, right? The moment you see him look sneaky, tap right there, okay? Because dogs are very fast and they're very quiet, and the next thing you know, you turn around and he's going to be like off of it, okay? Other questions?
I think it's for me, yeah.
Okay, so what we're going to do here is go ahead and stand up here, and you can praise Momo.
Both of us?
Just one of you. There you go.
Good boy.
Okay, and you're going to cue break.
Break.
And what you're going to do is you're going to pick up where she left off, which is going to say place, you're going to tap right, you're going to set him, but now you're going to start walking around. Now, Momo gets up. When you're walking, you're going to stop tapping to fix him. We don't say anything. Once he's back on the bed, you're going to start walking again.
Okay. Place.
There you go.
And walk right.
Yeah, walk around here. Good. Then you go ahead and stop. Wait a moment. Break.
Break.
Good. We're going to try that 4 more times.
Break. Good boy. Place.
Good. 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 There you go. Good.
Good boy. Break. Break.
Good.
Place.
Good.
Boy. Break. Break.
Cool. There you go. Keep going.
Place.
There you go. Better.
Boy. Break. Place.
Got it. Right. Good job. Yep. Good.
Boy. Break.
Good. One more.
Place.
There you go. Better. Good. thing, place, you send, walk around, then you're gonna stop, you're gonna come in, and you're gonna give Momo a lot of praise. Good boy, good boy, good boy. Then you're gonna stop and step away to walk around again. Okay? But so with the praise, he might get distracted and try to follow you. Okay?
Place. Good boy. Good boy. Step right.
Mm-hmm. Then walk around again. Good. Then break. Good boy. Break. Good. One more. Place. Good. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good. Break. You started to get
You
it.
want to stay there, Momo?
Break it. One more.
3 more, yeah.
Place.
Good. Much better. Good. Good.
Good boy, Momo. Good boy. Break.
Good. Couple more. Perfect. Good boy.
Place. Good boy, Momo. Good boy. Good boy. Break.
Good. And one more, and we'll swap.
I have a question. So when we take him to a restaurant and we'll be there for 2 hours, just one place for the whole 2 hour at the restaurant?
Yep, and then if he gets up, you just tap, and he should correct it.
Okay.
Place.
Good.
Good boy, Momo. Good boy.
Good. And then you'll keep Momo in place, and then we'll swap and keep him there. Good. And what you can do here is go ahead and come to Momo and praise him.
Good boy, doggy. Good boy.
Then you'll walk around. There you go. Good.
Break. Break.
Good. So you do the place, and then you'll send them, you walk around, praise them, and then walk around again.
Okay. Place.
Better.
Good boy. Good boy. Break.
Good.
Place.
Yep, good. That was good. Very good.
Good boy, doggy. Good boy. Place. Good boy, Momo, good boy. Break. Place.
Good.
I did that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. He went straight there.
Good. Good boy. Good boy. Break. Place.
Good. Yep. You thought about it. There you go. Good.
Good boy, Momo.
Good. And then we'll leave him there. Put him and have a seat. All right. So, building this to a more realistic length of time. Tim. There you go. So like let's say you're gonna watch a movie at home, hour and a half or whatever, right? I always start with, I think it's easiest, if you're doing the process, starting with the bed next to you, okay? So the TV's here, couch is here, Momo's bed there, place, and then as you step on the leash, you can keep the leash right here, and 30 minutes in, Momo gets bored, he wants to walk away. You just grab the leash, you start tapping, he goes back, I go back to watching the movie, okay? Don't need to say anything. 20 minutes later, he tries to get away again, start tapping, he goes back on, keep watching the movie, okay? So then he's learning, if they put me here, and I get bored, and I try to walk away, I'm gonna get tapped. And then the only way to avoid it is just not to get off, okay? So for the first week, Momo here, let's say you're gonna get up, so like go to the kitchen or something. For the first week, before you get up, you would Momo break, then get up, you know, get some water or whatever, come back, place if you want, or you can let him be free. But you want to release him before you stand up. Because if you stand up and then release Momo, he's going to think every time you stand up, you're going to let him go free. Okay, so
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Sure. So like, if I'm going to get up, right, for the first week with Momo here, instead of trying to get up and walk away, I would say break, then get up to do what I want to do. And you can put him in place again when you're done. Instead of standing up and then saying Momo break. Because then he's going to think when you stand up, you're going to tell him break. So he's going to start following you automatically.
Right.
So we want to prevent that problem. It's easier to just prevent it than it is to try to fix it. Yeah. So for the first week, you know, you do 2 hours, you do 30 minutes one day, 10 minutes another day, whatever. It doesn't have to be every day 2 hours. Just think to yourself.
No, but
I say, just think to yourself, like, you know, if there's a time where you're not going to do anything, you're going to be still for a while, you could practice this. Because you're not having to do anything.
Yep.
You just tap him if he gets up.
Okay.
For the second week, if you've been doing this and practicing, Momo's still here, but now you'll start getting up and walking away, you won't break him. Okay, so he's supposed to stay. If he gets up, you tap him, but it's easier to fix because you've already done it for 1 week. So you have a good idea. So like on some of these, when you're tapping him, did you see like how he was running back?
Yep.
That's what we're trying to get, is that it's very easy for him to fix the problem. Because if you don't practice enough, like you'll tap him and then he'll try to run off. Okay? For the third week, then it's Momo's like 4 to 6 feet away from me, still with the leash on, and I can get up and walk around and come back and sit down and stuff, but he's further. And then by the fourth week, he could be like all the way across the room, still with the leash on, and you can get up, go in a different room, come back, go in the kitchen, all that stuff. And he's supposed to stay put. After that fourth week, if everything's going really well, then you don't need the leash anymore. Okay? We use the leash in the beginning because dogs are aware that the leash gives you physical control. So then if he sees there's no leash there, you're going to see him start to run away because he's thinking he can get away from it. Okay? Another way to do it, and that's what we do here at my facility, is we have columns, and around the column we have a leash.
Yeah.
Okay,
I know,
you see that?
I
Yeah.
saw that.
So we use those as tethers. So like if we taught Momo here, right, it'll be placed, we train him, and then right away, once he's done training, we go place and we clip him, and then we go to train another dog. You know, and then we're like 30, 40 feet away, and he's got enough leash to get off and walk around, but he can't like escape. So then if I'm across the facility and he tries to sneak away, I have the remote, I just start tapping him, and then he can't go anywhere, so he has to fix it. Okay? So then he thinks it doesn't matter where Jesse is, because he could be over here, he could be in a different room, and if I try to sneak away, this still happens. Okay? So, and then it allows us to do 2 to 3 hours right away without having to do the stages, because we have that tether. So some people, like if they have like an old wooden table that's really heavy, or like their couch, well, they'll take the leash and put it underneath the couch leg, and then so they can use that for the dog. The only thing is, like, if the bed is too close to the couch and you tap them, a lot of times the dog will jump on the couch. So then you have to keep tapping, and you use the leash to pull him, to guide him, because if you keep tapping him while he's on the couch, he's probably going to dig in deeper. Okay. This doesn't mean people always think like, oh, like the dogs are like laying there all day. I'm like, dogs sleep 16, 20 hours a day. All you're doing is picking where the dog is doing it so that you can apply it later on. This is a very good exercise for like dogs that have anxiety, or they move too much. Like they're just constantly needing something to do. Because, you know, Momo's like a 3 to 4 year old child. So like when I was growing up, like we went to church, my mom like to be quiet, to behave yourself, right? So you're in church, like trying to be quiet. It's hard. So it's the same thing for the dogs. You know, him being here for a long period of time is hard because his brain wants to move. Okay, and you're saying, nope, you got to be here. Okay, and you might find maybe in the beginning when you try it, Momo's just sitting there panting. Okay, that's normal. Here you can see how he's laying down now because he's mentally exhausted. So now he's just like, I'm done, right? But like we had a dog here a few years ago, not years ago, a few months ago, who did a 4-week boarding train with us, and he was 1 year old, unneutered Black Russian Terrier, 150 pounds, really big dog. Okay. And never was told what to do. So he would jump up and just bark at you. And he's 150 pounds, so I was like, whoa, right? And we did place with him. And for like a week, he never laid down or sat down. He would only stand for hours. He would only stand, okay? Because he was so uncomfortable, because he was not used to being told what to do. And after like a week, he finally sat down. And then a few days after that, he finally laid down. And everybody was like, man, like you're finally fell asleep, right? But because it was very anxious because he was being made to do something that was completely opposite to what he wanted to do. Because he just wanted to bark at you and move around all the time, right? So it became very mentally exhausting for him because standing for hours is tiring, you know? And it just shows you just how emotionally uncomfortable he was because he was so stressed out about it, you know? So the more you push Momo with that stuff, in the beginning it might be hard for him, but then you'll start to see once he like breaks and like gives in, it's gonna become quicker and he's gonna calm down a lot more. Okay? Because typically people let their dogs do whatever they want in the home, which in most cases isn't bad, right? But then your dog becomes what you allow them to do. So if it's constant, you know, craziness, you get a crazy dog. But if you start to implement some like structure, you know, with the heel and the leash, with the discipline, the recall, now with like, hey, go here, don't move, and just be quiet. And like maybe he's there and he starts to whine, you can correct him for that. Because the whining is him wanting to do something. So then I correct him, and maybe he breaks off of the place because he doesn't know why it happened. You wouldn't say place, you keep tapping. He goes back, and then the next time he whines, you correct him. He's probably going to come off. You keep tapping, he goes back. Because then he's learning, oh, that tap isn't for being here. Because I keep getting tapped to go back. And eventually he'll whine and you'll tap him and he'll just relax.
So it's the same thing for barking if he barks?
If he barks, correct. So in the beginning if he's on place and he barks and you tap him, you know, he doesn't know it's because he barked. Most dogs will jump off. So that's why you have to keep tapping and put them back so that they learn it's not for not being there or for being on there, it's for barking. And then you'll see after he's learned that, you'll tap him for barking and then you'll just lay down. Okay? You can use this as long as you want. You know, if you really, really like it, you can do 3 hours. You know, you can do 3 hours every day. Try that. Let's see what he does. Because you saw him started rumbling. He was looking around, you tapped him, he took it, and then he just laid back down again. Okay? So you just told him to relax. If you put Momo in place, don't say sit and don't say down. Okay? Because we don't care what he does.
Yeah.
Just go here and don't move. Okay? Questions?
Can we put a toy?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
He can have a bone, you can have a shoe, you can have a toy. He just cannot come off of the area. So like this used to happen with my Pitty when she was a puppy, is I'd give her a bone and it would roll. And then she'd sit there crying because she couldn't get off the bed. I'd give her the bone, right? But then she kept doing it on purpose. So then I stopped giving her the bones, okay? So if you give him, that's fine, you give him toy, it's fine. But if you start to notice like he's starting to like purposely do that, then I stop because then he's just playing games.
Got it.
Okay?
Is there a size limit in terms of
Nope.
area?
As long as, so I had a client that had a really big area rug.
Yeah, I was thinking the same.
Yeah. So they're like, can that be placed? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, it's just your dog has a really big place and can like literally run around or whatever. He could, if it's big enough, he can even play with another dog. They just can't step out of the area.
Yeah.
Okay. Other questions?
For me, that's it.
When you go home, pick your objects, and then you start like we did in the beginning, tapping and leading them there.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you feel like it's pretty easy, then you say place and tapping. For the sending exercise, if you each did like 2 to 3 minutes a day with this, within a couple of days he'd be pretty good. Okay. Then I just go to application, place, and then sending them, and then keeping them there for a period of time.
Yeah.
Anything else?
When he gets like really good at place, what's the max like hour or like time that we can leave him on place?
Whatever you want. Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever you
Because
want.
every time we go out grocery shopping or something, we need to put him in the crate. So I was thinking if in the future is really comfortable with place already, we'll just keep him on place and then go grocery shopping and come back. I don't know if that will work.
You'd be really. So the hard part there would be because you're gone, he's gonna know he can sneak away. Okay. Now what you could do. Well, is he barking? I'm sorry, was he barking like when you guys leave or what?
Not actually, it's much better now. He would bark for like
Yeah, like when he
20
knows that
seconds or
we're
something, and then he'll
leaving,
stop.
then he'll start barking.
he'll whimper and then he'll stop.
Gotcha. What you could do if you wanted to make that better is do the crate tapping to send them there, and repeat that a few times. And then, so now whenever you send them, at least for a little bit, like let's say you're gonna go to the store and you bring them home from a walk, is you Momo crate, and do that a few times. Momo crate, break, and then Momo crate tap, you send him, and then take the leash off. If you're not gonna be gone for long, you can leave the collar on, and then see how he does. So I do that with dogs that bark when the owners leave, is I'll have them do that exercise, and it just helps kind of calm them down and get discipline in the head that we may not see any kind of separation anxiety. If it becomes like a problem, then we just do the bark collar, because that'll correct him if he barks automatically. Because that you can only correct them, like that's a 3/4 mile range, but then in Chicago, because we have buildings, you're not going to get the full 3/4. But like if you're in the hallway or something, like you can tap him, it should register. So, okay. Other questions?
Oh, that's good. I like this.
Yeah, it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
So you can start adding this to his daily stuff. So then for the next class, if you want to think about, typically for the 6 classes, you do 6, correct?
Yeah.
Is the last one is like we review everything, make sure everything's being practiced correctly, or if there's something you wanted to teach them, you can ask me, so they can we do this in the class.
Okay.
And it's simple enough, I don't have a problem with it. But we went over, we did heal, we did stay, we did come, and now the place. Yes, that's a pretty good, you have to walk with me, come to me, then the don't move, okay? So the next class can be like a review, make sure you remember everything correctly, you're practicing correctly. Recall, of course, takes time to get to be fully reliable. And then don't be surprised if once it snows, because he hasn't been through a winter, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He has.
We got him in February.
Okay, so sure. So a lot of dogs, when the snow comes, they act crazier.
Yeah.
So then your number might change, it might go up a little bit, so you calm them down. So that happens, that's really common. If it's a really hot day and you're walking with Momo, his number might be higher because the body heat overrides the collar. Okay, so like normally he's 70 and then it's a really hot day, you could be at 127.
Yeah.
And he's like no problem, but it's because he's so hot. Okay, so that's just something to keep in mind. And then if you were to stop to like let him cool off in the shade, you want to lower it because then he's gonna feel the full power.
Makes sense.
Okay, I've had that happen to me quite a few times, and it's happened a lot during the years with clients and their dogs. Okay,
Cool.
awesome.
What other things, aside from what we've been through in terms of folks that you've trained, what other things have they asked you to train them on?
Well, the standard 6 commands are like heel, stay, come, place, sit, and down. Okay, those are the 6 standard family pet commands. Unless like maybe the dog, maybe they play fetch and the dog doesn't drop the ball. So they'll ask me how to teach them how to do that, which is super simple. It's usually
He
corrected.
doesn't pick up the ball.
He doesn't pick it up.
He goes to it and
Unless it's like stopping behaviors.
Yeah.
It's like how I stop jumping on, which is easy, just
yeah.
tap. But that's pretty much it. It's really just how much control do they want.
Sure.
So like I had one guy, I have some clients who do 12 classes. So we do all 6 commands, sit, stay down, come, place, heel. And then we build it to off-leash reliability. So then like the first 6 classes, we teach all the commands with the short leash. And then the second 6 classes, we do the long leash and we start practicing everything on the long leash so that they can build it so that they don't need a leash. Yeah. That's usually for people that go like hiking with their dog, and they do everything with their dog. If you just go to the dog park and you just walk Momo and you want to go to like a restaurant and stuff, like this is perfectly fine. Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
No, I have a question not related to Momo. Have you trained like a deaf dog or really?
Yeah. We use remote.
Oh.
Yeah. So we actually had one here who was here for 4 or 5 weeks. He was a bull terrier. He's white. He's deaf. Brianna, who's one of my employees, her dog is deaf. I trained her dog.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do they follow like hand commands or just the collar?
We do body language.
Body.
So like, with the heel, with the left leg, and then the stay with the right leg, and then the wave, and the moving back. We use the vibrate to kind of let the dog know, like, pay attention. And then what we do from there, I don't do like this for sit or anything like that. It's just all body language and touch. So like if we tap on the butt, then they'll go into a sit. Or if we tap on the shoulders, they'll go into a down.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I like this.
Good.
Thank
All right,
you.
Thank you.
Oh.
I said right.
That's fast.